Hey, how's it going? My name is James P. White from 95.7 Cruise FM and the Locker Room. Welcome so much to Pink Shirt Day. It's a huge day. I love this and our Pink Shirt Day conversation. We have a great panel on with us today, and I've never been more excited about anything in my life. And as everyone knows, February 28th, it's the last Wednesday of February, is Pink Shirt Day. And Pink Shirt Day is a day of bringing awareness to bullying to across Canada and, North America, to unify everyone against bullying and just helping people feel accepted and, you know, together. And right now, we're part of Harvard Media. We have joined forces with KidsHelpPhone, and we have Lydia on that's going to be talking a bit about that in a bit. I'm so excited. Yeah. So I'm so excited that I got to get things going. I'm going to pass you off to Mariah. She's going to MC the whole thing and keep it going because I hesitate a bit because I'm too excited. So take it away, Mariah.
That's all right. Okay. James P. White. We like to call him Jimmy. My name is Mariah May. I am stationed out of Calgary, but you can also hear me on middays with my co host Ty on 95.7 Cruise FM. I'm also out of X92.9 in Calgary, but I was born and raised in Edmonton, so I'm very familiar with what goes on there. And yeah, I won't be talking too much today, but I will be facilitating questions. If you have any questions, remember, no question is a silly or stupid question. You can ask whatever. We just say keep it respectful and have some fun, and we're here to inform and enjoy. And I guess first off, Lydia, I'll introduce you. You said that you've been with KidsHelpPhone for just under a year now, and I want to talk a little bit about your role, what you do. And before you get started though, Lydia, I will say anybody who's joining, I've been encouraged to say get the comments going now. Start thinking about the questions you'd like to ask these guys, these panelists, the experts, and I'll keep track of what's coming in, and we'll hit up on the discussion on the comments section after we get to know a little bit about Spencer and about Lydia. So Lydia, take it away.
Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. I am Lydia Sequeira, and I've had the privilege of working as KidsHelpPhone's Director of Service Programs and Innovation Implementation. As Mariah said, I've been here for the last 9 months. A brief overview of KidsHelpPhone for those of you who may have not heard. We are Canada's only 24/7 e-mental health service, offering free, confidential, multilingual support to young people. We've been a safe place for young people to reach out to for over 35 years now. And young people can reach out through phone and text and chat, message forums, or through resources on our website. In my role here, I oversee a few of the different services and programs that we have, and I'd love to chat more about each one of them at some point today. But I just will tell you a little bit about the role, and I really focus on successfully engaging young people within the design, the build, and the delivery of our services and our programs. I'm interested in learning about how we can grow and scale our programs, and also just ensuring that any new innovation that we put forward can be implemented in a meaningful and a thoughtful way alongside young people. So that is what I do at KidsHelpPhone. I also want to shout out the amazing team of people that I work with on a daily basis. Some of them are young people themselves. And I think as a team, we're really collectively passionate about helping youth face the complex challenges that they come across, and really ensuring that they have access to supports that are most relevant to them.
I think that's excellent, and congrats on obviously your success at nearly hitting the year mark. And it's very informative to hear what you do, and just exciting to see exactly what KidsHelpPhone does. Spencer, I would love to move on to you, and I don't know too much about you, but I'm excited to hear a little bit about yourself and how you've been involved previously with this initiative, and what your role is today.
Well, I am obviously it says my tag is a super hot guy, and I do that because I don't let people label me anymore. A common label for what I've been through as a burn survivor, and as much as I am a burn survivor, I don't like the term because I find that I do know survivors, and there's still people that are dealing with the challenges of what they're going through, which is a journey, and you do need to go through it. But I'd like to think I'm through that journey, and I've now become the super hot guy that I am. But so now I'm a motivational speaker. I've been presenting now for 18 years. I've done over 2,000 presentations. I've spoken to well over 500,000 people. Most of the presentations I do are in safety awareness, but I have, I love getting to the schools and talking about my motivational and inspirational stuff, which I don't get to share as often as I'd like to, just because there's not a lot of budgets in schools. They struggle now to fund these things. So actually, during Burn Awareness Week, which we just ran, I volunteer and speak to 10 schools with another burn survivor for free, raising funds for research on on burn research. I'm also a best-selling author. My book is called In Case of Fire, which you can access on my website. Just Google my name and you'll find the website. And I really wrote the book because there was so much in my story, and I shared the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual journey on what it took to redefine who I am, because obviously I wasn't born this way. Although I did have one person ask if I was born this way, and I was like, yeah, okay. No, you don't get friction burn at birth. And so what Pink Shirt Day means to me, honestly, is as listening to Lydia, and life can be really challenging. It's never easy for anybody. We're all going to have what I call them bad days, right? We're all given bad days. And we have so many bad days in our life that we can't even remember them all. That's how meaningless they truly are. But when you're dealing with something like you're dealing with like Jimmy or myself, with things we can't control, and other people on things that you don't even see, but internally everyone has things that we don't like about ourselves. And then you're dealing with someone who comes and they intentionally can see what you don't like about yourself, and they pick on it, and they create those bad days where you didn't need to have a bad day created. To me, that's it's needless and pointless, and it only causes harm. But what I have truly come to realize is that, this is something we can talk about later as we get into it, is we all have superhero abilities. We all have things that we're really good at. And I believe bullying, they take their hero ability and they misuse it, they abuse it. And by doing that, they hurt people instead of helping them. And that's what we're here today is. So we want to help people, not only when you're dealing with when life gets hard, but also let's try and help those bullies learn what their talent is and redefine it so that you use it for good instead of for harm.
I think that's a very, very open-minded way to look at things and a fresh perspective I haven't heard before. You're obviously very accomplished in your own day to day, and I'm very interested in checking out your book as well. That just sounds amazing. So very happy to have both you guys on. Spencer, love the super hot guy vibes. That is good. It's very positive. Okay, Jimmy, I guess I'll pass it back to you and let you chat a little bit about what today means for you. And I know you've been involved with the Pink Shirt Day initiatives here for a couple years now. And obviously it resonates with you personally for a lot of your life.
Yeah, so Pink Shirt Day for me is more, it has two meanings for me. One is to educate people on the effect of bullying and how it affects everybody else. And two, give hope to people that have been bullied, because when I'll get into it a bit. When I was bullied, I didn't know I was going to make it through it, and I'm still standing. And the theme of the Pink Shirt Day this year is you're not alone, and I never was. My family did a lot, so I'll get into that a bit. And yeah, so for those who have first met me, there's one thing you can't tell by me is I'm actually 4 feet tall. I've been short for my entire life and was bullied, and I just love talking to people about bullying and and self-confidence, and like I do a lot of crazy things now being in radio. I come up with some really funny gimmicks, costumes, stuff like that to make people laugh. And so that's what Pink Shirt Day means to me, is just bring awareness and give hope.
I love to see that, and I can obviously see, Jimmy, with how personally this resonates with you. I like to see the emotion behind it all. That's such a good thing for people to see the realness of it all, right? I just want to remind anybody who has joined in to the live stream at any point that you can reload the feed to activate the chat on the side. And like I said, I'm going to be just watching for comments coming in, and a reminder as we move along to feel free to share your comments early. I'm going to keep track of some that I think we should touch on. While I might not be able to get to all of them, yeah, please type away and send some in. I think it's a great thing to start about and hit up and chat about. James, would you like to touch on anything else before we move along?
I think we're good. You can do what you need to do.
Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, I'm just kind of waiting for some comments to roll in and start here. But Lydia, let's move back to you. I guess just talking a little bit more about today. Is there something that you would like to make children known specifically about any of the resources that they can go to you for, or maybe if they're unsure about how Kids Help Phone is linked back to their schools, or what they can be doing to actually get in touch? Because I think a lot of people see Kids Help Phone and then they want to know, okay, well, how do I actually use that? What do I do to take advantage of these resources?
Yeah, absolutely. So I could maybe also touch upon what Pink Shirt Day means to me and also to Kids Help Phone in general. Um, I know, this is just a great opportunity to join in on this national conversation that's happening, and really to ensure that young people all across Canada know that Kids Help Phone is here for them. I would also encourage young people listening or caring adults with young people in their lives to spread the message that at Kids Help Phone, no problem is too big or too small here. If you actually check out our social media accounts today, you'll see a video with some amazing members of our National Youth Council. They're reminding us all that of this important message that James said, that you're not alone in any of this, and there is help, so you can reach out. And I think just personally, I'm just honored to be part of this conversation, to stand in solidarity with all of you against bullying, and striving to just foster environments of kindness and acceptance and inclusion through both work, but also just in my personal life. With regards to how people can access services at Kids Help Phone, so we really recognize that every young person is unique, and so is their mental health. Our approach to service delivery is really to connect young people with the most effective service that they want and they need at that specific point in time. Recognizing that this might evolve from day to day or from minute to minute, and that's okay. When Kids Help Phone started about 35 years ago, we started solely as a telephone service, but then since then we've really evolved tremendously. I'd say if you visit our website, so kidshelpphone.ca, you will be able to kind of quickly look through. We have a banner of all of our offerings, and you'll be able to understand just the breadth of all of the services and the programs that we have here to help young people. We have everything from mental health videos and articles, tools, games, so self-directed activities for kids, for teens, for adults. We have a Feel Out Loud community creator space. So this is a space where young people can explore and share their creative content. We have a peer-to-peer community. So this is a support forum for young people. It's real life stories where young people can share their story, connect with others that are like them or different from them, support each other digitally. And so you can visit peer-to-peer.kidshelpphone to access this community. We also offer text-based supports with trained volunteer crisis responders. This you can access through, I'm seeing it all on the live stream as well, through texting connect to 686868. And then finally, our longest running service is counseling, and you can reach our incredible professional counseling team both through the phone 24/7 and through live chat during certain hours as well. We have counselors who speak French and English, as well as interpretation services that are available for counseling in over 100 different languages. We also have, for young people who want to basically find help and support within their own communities, we have a tool called Resources Around Me. So this provides young people with vetted resources to step out of the KidsHelpPhone system of care into community-based programs. And I think we've seen that this has been an important safety factor in today's world of, unregulated resources and services that we have. I can talk a little bit more about, the challenges that we've seen over time. I'm happy to pause here and maybe get back to it a little bit later.
Yeah, I think that's great. I just wanted to say that it was so nice how you touched on how long KidsHelpPhone has been around, because even myself, I remember when I was young, seeing commercials and how it's evolved, obviously, from the telephone line. Now it sounds like you're dialed into as many different avenues as you possibly can be to reach so many different groups of people, people speaking different languages. And yeah, I guess, Lydia, the question everybody wants to know, and this is kind of where we like to keep in touch with the personal aspect of it. How has bullying affected you? Because I feel as though, somebody working with KidsHelpPhone directly, you must resonate with wanting to help other people, maybe after having your own experiences or somebody negatively impacting your life. I would love to hear about that, about yourself.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can just say, as I moved to Canada in grade 9, and so it was a massively, different life shift for my end. And just trying to make friends and fit into new communities. I had to go from a different school in grade 9 to grade 10 again. And so I think these memories just kind of stick with you, trying to find that group of people and kind of finding community. So I would say, in terms of bullying, it was more just trying to fit in, and that was my challenge that I experienced as a young person. And then since then have had to cope with grief and other things that have come through my life with regards to substance use and losing friends to that. So that's kind of what brought me to KidsHelpPhone, and I want to make sure that there is, if it's even one more young person that our services can help turn their life around and actually provide some support. That is kind of the goal and my own mission and personal mission in life.
I think it's nice to hear you say that you've had your own struggles, and I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with the idea of even language barriers, or again, moving schools at such a critical time in your development of like being a person and trying to figure out who you are. Jumping between schools and making new friends can be really a hurdle in life. So I think that's incredible that you're highlighting that, and that speaks to a bit about yourself, which is awesome. And I guess it just loops back to the theme, right? You are not alone, because I think some of these challenges people find, oh man, am I the only person going through this? Am I the only person feeling like this? And then hearing yourself talk about that, it resonates with the theme, which I think is great. And I guess I want to know somebody influential who maybe helped you out in a time for your own life. Is there anybody who is a mentor to you, or somebody who is positive to help you navigate this stuff?
Gosh, so many. I don't know if I can choose just one, to be honest. I think I just had really great teachers throughout, like through moving to Canada, and sometimes you often find friendship in in teachers and people who are there as mentors. And so I've learned a lot, I think, throughout my many years now, through friends and mentors and people that are that I kind of personally relate to. So I don't have a specific name for you for that question, but I will say that I've kind of built a community and been able to kind of grow and lean on people that are close to me in my personal life, mentors of mine, and yeah, so all of the above.
I think that's amazing. And I just want to say you're such a positive person to speak with. I love hearing your stories. I just want to take a break here and mention to everybody that the comments coming in are awesome. I'm seeing a lot of them from many different people, and I'm not forgetting them. We're going to come back to them a little bit later after we chat again with Spencer here. But just hang tight. Keep them coming in, though, because I want to benchmark some of these, and we'll come back to them. Okay, Spencer, I guess I kind of want to relay the same questions for you. I know we just found out a little bit about what you've been doing, obviously volunteering, speaking to different schools, but I want to know, how does the theme of "you're not alone" resonate with you? Because you're in a unique situation, but you're not. I'm sure you've met a lot of different people who have had similar challenges to you in life. And I think we would all love to hear about, maybe what Kids Help Phone means to you, and even as an adult, how it can resonate with you.
It's interesting that you start there because I was thinking when you asked Lydia about who's helped her. Like, I'm 50.
Yeah.
And so back when I was growing up, you were alone. We didn't have Kids Help Phone. We didn't even talk about bullying. If you did, honestly, the answers I would receive is stand up to your bully. But my bully was always bigger than me. So I stood up to them. It was like I was going to get knocked down, and I'm afraid of that. So, I was alone. And I honestly, come to think about it, wasn't really until I met really strong friends and started to really develop who I am in my early 20s that I was starting to become confident and secure and, the outgoing person you see today. But it is a journey and a transition. But to give you an idea, in grade 9, I was a misfit. I was struggling to find friends. I'm the youngest of the family with two older brothers. I had blonde hair and big dimples, and my brothers had brown hair and no dimples, and I didn't look anything like them. And my brothers were actually my biggest bully. When I look at it, they would always call me the mailman's kid, and they would call me names, and their friends would jump in on it. And I would come home from school, and literally I'd put pillows in my shirt because I knew I was going to get what I call a beating. Like, they never physically put me in a hospital or bruised me, but they did. Every day I got this physical and emotional beatdown from them, which was hard. And in grade 9, I had enough. I was done with it. And I remember in the summer of grade 9, I was like, I'm going to change all of this. I'm going to be no longer a misfit. I'm going to go make a lot of friends. I'm going to become popular. I'm going to be the person that Spencer wants to be. And I saw one of the questions on how did bullying affect your life? And I'm like, horribly, because the decisions I made to be popular was I started to smoke and to drink and to do drugs. This misfit lost kid started to take in all these aspects into his life, which just caused more harm, all for this desire to want to be accepted. And I ended up hurting myself. I was a straight A student in grade 9. And because I took on drugs and drinking, and I had this overwhelming desire to want to be accepted, I let my school grades go, and I ended up hurting my health. And it wasn't until grade 12 when I was, really lost. Now I'm a misfit, lost kid in a drug using world, that I decided I wanted to change who I was again, because this wasn't me. And I ended up having to leave all my friends. I left the town I was in. I didn't tell anyone I was going. And I found new friends who, one of them became my wife. And I had to redesign, my whole social network to make it positive in order for me to be able to escape that law, or not even so much escape, for me to finalize the journey of Spencer finding who he truly meant to be. But I'm going to go back to like grade 9. If there was one thing in my life I could change, it would be focus on my grades and forget about being accepted that much by people who I don't even talk to or care about anymore. Like, honestly, everyone in high school that I went to school with, they're not my friends. They're not the people I hang out with. I am now, my friends are people I've made as adults, and I have so much more in common with them. Why did I let these people influence so much about who I was? When honestly, for 3 short years, they were quite meaningless, or their impact on my life was meaningless. So, but I will just advance. I think bullying is something that happens to everyone and all the time. Just a few weeks ago, I was at my kid's hockey game, and there's another parent. He's a big type A personality. We're the same size. He has a little bit of weight on me, but he works out all the time, and he doesn't know how to deal with whatever's going on. And he came up to me and he's like, I feel like beating you up. I'm like, why would you say that? In my head, I'm like, why would you say that? So instead of reacting, because I've learned better to react, I went home and thought about it. I'm like, this guy, he needs some recoding in his brain. So the next time I saw him, I was like, tell me one positive thing you did this week. And I started to recode his brain from doing this harmful stuff to doing positive stuff. And he struggled to answer it. But the next time I saw him, he actually came up. He's like, you know what? I thought about that question. And this week I intentionally went and did this to go and help somebody. And I started to recode his brain so that he would stop being those stupid things would come out of his mouth and that were just designed to hurt people.
I think that you touched on a lot of things there, Spencer. Obviously, showing that bullying, I know a lot of people talk about in the long run, the positive impact it can have on the perspective of their life. But you obviously show, the struggles of the in between before you get that long game perspective. And on top of it, I think a lot of people think that, yeah, some of these issues when you're in school just they seem very daunting, and it can be hard to decompartmentalize some of that stuff. And also it's good to touch about how bullying still exists when you're an adult, and the different tools you can use to apply to deal with those adults, right? I think that's great. Spencer, we're going to come back to you. We're just going to move on to Jimmy to talk a little bit more about your first bully, Jimmy, and maybe a time when you needed to lean on somebody. I know you touched on the fact that you said your mom was a big help for you, but I'd love to hear a little bit about your personal stories in regards to bullying. Oh, I think you just got to unmute there.
Here we go. I got to be smarter than the computer. So I was bullied a lot, like from elementary school all the way up into high school. I was teased, picked on. I was, stuffed in garbage cans, locked in lockers. I was put in the hospital. I hated going to school. It's like it was really tough. And the thing is all the way through it, I had my family, my mom, my sister. They all helped me. But the thing is, though, is being bullied. I hated who I was, being a victim all the time. And with the help of my family, they made me realize a couple things. One, it wasn't my fault. No matter what people said that I deserved it or whatever, I didn't. I was okay the way I am. And Spencer kind of touched on it. I wanted to be me. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I wasn't going to let them push me into doing things I didn't want to do. I was me. And once I realized that, I was able to walk away from people that were bullying me. I was able to go, okay, you can call me a name. That doesn't mean I'm really that. That's just what you think. That's a you problem, not a me problem. And I remember, like, another way that bullying affected me in a big way was my sister, Heather. She would defend me, and people would pick on her because she was my sister. That bothered me more than people bothering me. And because I'm okay. You can make fun of me. You can call me names. Because that's not me. But you don't mess with my family. And when you talk about you're not alone, I wasn't. I remember it was actually this Christmas. I was talking to my mom about Pink Shirt Day coming up and me being bullied. And it hurt her as much as it did me. The stuff that I went through, being put in the hospital, me coming home upset, uh, bothered all the time. I was, just depressed. Um, it still bothers her of what I went through growing up. And when you say you're not alone, they had my back all the way through. And whenever I would listen to the people going, "You can't do this, you can't do that," my parents are like, "Yes, you can." I went from being bullied to now I moved, like, I lived in a small town, Tabor, Alberta. I'm here in Edmonton. I work at a radio station with some great people. I love who I am. I love talking to kids about being bullied. I just if it wasn't for some of that stuff that I went through growing up, I would not be here today. If it Because I am here right now, and I didn't do it by myself. I had people encouraging me and just letting me know when stuff was tough that I can make it through. And I'm standing. So, one big thing is you're not alone. Ask for help. And two, you're good enough the way you are. You don't have to change anything about you because somebody else thinks they don't like that about you. Be you. That's what bullying means to me. Is I'm who I am and I'm proud of it.
Well, I think everybody gets, I definitely get a bit emotional listening to all you guys and your stories. And I think that everybody, whether it be not necessarily the exact same situation you're in, but a situation that maybe garnered the same feelings, everybody can relate, I think, on some level. Whether maybe they were the bully, they've been bullied, it can speak to that. And I gotta say, Jimmy, it's really nice hearing the support you've had from your family, because I know a lot of people do not have the support. So, they have to go to other resources like Kids Help Phone to get the support and work through things. I think, guys, it's a great time to start to move on to some of these questions that we've seen here in the comment section, because there's some really good ones. And yeah, we've kind of touched on a few of them already organically when you guys have been talking a little bit. But I'd like to touch on a really important question here that got asked. I think it's Saint Boniface. I hope I'm saying that right. Somebody in grade 6 is going, "Is Kids Help Phone anonymous?" I think that's a really important thing to talk about. Lydia, maybe I'll let you quarterback that one if you'd like to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I will mention all of the services that I listed or that I chatted about are all confidential. Our helpline, so if you call into the number, it is completely anonymous, and so we only have as much information as individuals provide to us. But regardless of whichever service you're coming into, it is all confidential. So none of the information is shared, beyond Kids Help Phone for any one of our other services as well. But yeah, I could kind of reiterate the texting service is confidential. It's 686868, and the phone service that we have is fully anonymous. And the number is on the screen as well.
Awesome. I think that's really important for people to know. And I think, like personally, Lydia, some people in that grade 6 class are still just curious about where and when did you move to Canada? I know you said you were in junior high, but I guess what country did you move from? And yeah, kind of people want to know a little bit more about you personally.
Sure, yeah, I'm happy to share. I actually came from a country called Oman. It's in the Middle East, and so I was born and raised there. But my ethnicity, I identify as Indian. So my parents were born and raised in India. And I think you had mentioning language. I was actually quite lucky that language wasn't one of the barriers when I moved here, because we did grow up in an English-speaking school. So for me, it was more of a culture shock than anything else. But yeah, it was a city called Muscat.
Wow, I love that. I love to hear where people are from. My mom just retired from teaching 2 years ago, and she said one of the joys of her life was seeing children in the classroom who you didn't know, maybe had immigrated from the same country and had really resonated together, or learning where different children had come from and sharing similarities in their time of traveling and setting up this new life in Canada, and I think it's really good. It's good to hear and touch on that a little bit. Another one of the questions, I guess, that is important to talk about. I guess people want to know, what is the best way to stop or prevent bullying? Because I know stopping can be obviously a solution, but I think a better solution is to make people aware on how to prevent this type of behavior. Spencer, whether it be you gave an example on how you dealt with this adult that you maybe prevented from bullying you, but what would you suggest in the classroom necessarily?
Well, my first instinct and advice would be to just return a positive or neutral comment. Don't react because that's what they're looking for. So if someone picks on something that you already don't like about yourself, just be like, okay, that's cool. I'm fine with that. Like I think Jimmy was saying that, like he didn't let those comments reflect on him where I did. And because of that, it created people saw it got a reaction out of me. So they picked on it even more. So just learn like what I did as an adult just a few weeks ago. I went home and thought about it. I didn't react at first. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to help recode this guy's brain. And I was like, so I started to put positive messages into their brain instead of reacting and letting him recode my brain. But I would really go just a little bit further on that. On you can't really stop bullying, but you definitely can stop how it affects you. And that's the bigger thing, you know. And when you're not alone, it's true. I find everybody has people in their life there to help them, and you need to express what's going on. You know, and it's cliche to hear it, but if you break your arm, you're going to go to the hospital, right? Well, if you're hurting inside, and we all hurt inside, nobody sees it. So you have to expose it, right? But the trick is, you expose your insides to what you're feeling inside to a bully, they're going to use that against you. So you have to find someone you love and someone you trust. Those two things have to occur. And if you know someone you love and you trust, and we all have people we love and trust. And if you don't, there's KidsHelpPhone. They will definitely then be able to help you and open up. There's tools out there. There's going through life can get challenging, and we don't always have all the answers. And sometimes putting together the puzzle pieces of life takes help from other people. So open up and expose what you're going through with people you love and trust, and you know are going to keep your feelings to themselves and get that help. So because it's not so much about preventing bullying, it's how do you cope with it and make it so it doesn't harm you. Because I think even that, like I got bullied just a few weeks ago at 50. You know what happens?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I'm just thinking about, how you said you can't necessarily stop it, but you can just be aware on these tools to get to maybe help you deal with things better and in turn educate that person, if they're willing to hear you out. Jimmy, I know you asked a good question here from the team there at 95.7 Cruise FM. How do you prevent bullying online, or how do you deal with that online? And I know I haven't talked much personally about myself, but in this line of work, getting bullied online still exists as an adult. Working at a radio station, we see it a lot. And I know you can probably attest to that, Jimmy. Even as an adult, people love to bully online. I've experienced it a lot working as a woman in broadcasting, working for different sport entities and things like that. It can be really tough. And I think that one of my biggest things when dealing with bullies online is I feel as though people are a lot tougher online and things feel like they can be a lot more intense online. And oftentimes it can be hard to shut that off, to feel like it's just coming at you immediately. But there are great tools to talk yourself down from these situations and, disengage, if you will. Do you want to touch on that a little bit, Jimmy?
Actually, eliminating bullying online or even in person, there's a huge way of doing it. One, if you're watching someone being bullied online, someone being made fun of, being whatever, one, don't laugh at it. That's a huge thing. Don't fuel the fire. Don't go, yeah, but what? But he's short too. Did you know that? Or, little things like that. You never join someone who is bullying. You never join that side. And the same with in person, in public. If someone makes fun of me, um, Lachlan, he's in the room, but he's not part of this conversation. He's one of my best friends. He actually tells people, hey, No, he stands up for me. Other people stand up because we, as the majority, the majority that aren't bullied, that are the bystanders, they're the ones that can help eliminate it. The way to eliminate it is make it not cool. That's the only way. Is if we don't make it cool, then it's not. Like, because a lot of people that when they bully, they do it to get a reaction, to get someone to laugh, to get people to join on their side. If we aren't joining that side and laughing at it, then the bully loses interest because they're not getting what they want.
I
And
think sorry to interrupt you, Jimmy. I think that's a really good idea because I know a lot of people think, why is this person? This is just going to lead nicely into our next question here. What did I do to deserve this treatment, or how do I diffuse this situation? Somebody has asked again here from the grade sixes, why do people bully other people if they have no good reason? And I feel as though sometimes when there are bullies, they're bullying because they're being bullied by another situation. And I feel like this mistreatment stems down from something they're experiencing maybe at home or where you're not seeing them. And I think, Lydia, obviously you work with KidsHelpPhone. I'm sure you can probably speak to this, that there is always an underlining reason for why people are exemplifying this poor behavior.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what I wanted to highlight is the concept of just literacy, mental health literacy, understanding more about yourself, understanding about others and your peers. We have a program called Counselor in the Classroom that might actually be of interest to all of the people listening here today. It's an incredible program that promotes this discussion of mental health and well-being within young people. And it's available to students from grades 4 to 12 across the country. And classes that participate in this are actually able to have a live video conversation with one of our KidsHelpPhone counselors. And they can get a better understanding about, mental health, about things like bullying and concepts like why people do bully and where that comes from and where that behavior might arise from, how to cope with these behaviors from the other side. Also, as a bystander, how do you actually deal with this from a bystander perspective if you're not the one being bullied or doing the bullying? So they are able to kind of chat very openly with our counselors, learn about just examples of calls that our counselors do receive with regards to a whole bunch of different issues and struggles that young people are going through. And hopefully by the end of that program, they're able to leave feeling more confident in being able to seek support when and if they need it. So it's Counselor in the Classroom. I would really encourage everyone to look through that.
That sounds like one of my favorite programs that you've highlighted because, just as much as we all like to think we're experts, I think it's great to tap into the expert resources, which is awesome to know that you guys do that. I think that's excellent. I just want to encourage anybody who's watching that we will probably be wrapping up our question period here soon. If you have any last questions you'd like to ask, now is the time to type them out and ask away. Like I said, no question is a silly question. Just keep it respectful, and I'm sure these guys would be happy to answer. I'd just like to ask, while maybe people take some time to type out their last questions, is there any last messages you'd like to leave off with? Anything, that you really stand by that you didn't get out yet? Spencer, Lydia, James?
I'll go if I could.
Yes.
So a few things I have found when Jimmy said, like, make it hard on somebody, don't let them get away with their comments. I found if you just say this one question over and over again and allow the person to comment, they run away. They don't know what to do. And just ask them, why are you here? And ask them again, why are you here? In that calm, collective voice. Eventually they will come up with, like, I have no reason why I'm doing this. And they will walk away. And you don't give them the attention they want. But I really want to just comment on Jimmy's shirt. I really love it. It says, you are not alone, thumb. It's because the thumb's in there too. But I look at a bully like the hand, and I started this out that they have this ability and they abuse it. But what it is, the bully, what they do is their superhero ability is they can see what people don't like about themselves, and then they take their hand and they close it and they beat you down for what you already know you can't control and you don't like about yourself. But what I found is a leader has the exact same ability as a bully. They also can identify what people weaknesses are. But instead of taking their hand and closing it and beating them down, what a leader does is they open up their hand and they reach down and they lift people up and they help them through their weaknesses, like what Locke does with Jimmy, like what my parents did with me or my wife when I met her. Whenever you get that person who helps you through tough times in your life, that's a leader. And a leader and a bully, they both can see what you don't like about yourself, but they use their gifts in different ways. And I think we all have this, as I start out, we all have these superhuman abilities. And when we use them for good, and you can see Jimmy's excitement today, like when he's talking, he's getting overwhelmed by this. You can see that he's using his gifts right now for good. And that is amazing what he's doing from his experience and his journey and the difference he's trying to make. And that's how we know when we're using our gifts for good, is we're making a difference in society. It's not for our own personal gain. It's actually we're making a difference for other people. And when you do that, I guarantee you, people want to be around other people who make good impressions and good differences in this world. So if you really truly want to stop bullying, shine, make a huge difference in this world. And the more you shine, the less that people will bug you.
I love the idea of lifting people up versus pushing them down. It's good visual for people to be able to resonate with what you're saying. Jimmy, I guess a final message and a question that I think maybe you should answer because you could speak to this. Where did you get the idea for having the live stream, guys? And who do you pick to be on if there is anybody interested in joining the panel, maybe let's say for next year?
Why I picked the live stream or why we went this way is when COVID happened and we couldn't go out and see people. And we tried this once and it was just local. It was like during the lockdown, and it was awesome. It went so well. And then we went this way where we went from just local to anywhere that anyone wants to do it. And that's why we went this way is because I learned, just to make a quick story, is when I started talking to people about bullying, it was about 20 years ago. I used to work on a little person's basketball team where we used to go we used to go to schools and talk to kids across Canada. It took 4 years, traveled Canada, and we would do 2 or 3 schools a day. But doing this live stream this way, we can reach 50 schools. We could reach 100 schools in this 1 hour. That's why we kind of went this way. And that's why we keep pushing to go with the live stream, because we can affect so many more people this way, affect so much change. And that's why we went to the live stream way. And for those who want to be part of the panel in future years, you can shoot me an email. It's James at 957cruisefm.ca. Shoot me and I'll we'll talk, because the more people we have on board, the more different stories, because like not one of us have the same story. Like everybody's been bullied in one way, shape, or form, whether you're 4 feet tall or not. We've all either been bullied or have been affected by bullying, like seeing somebody bullying a friend of yours or your family members, or people being frustrated in life and making bad decisions. And that's why we went live stream, is to get to as many people as we can and hear different stories. And of course, having KidsHelpPhone on board gives another avenue in which people can, do it anonymously. If you're afraid to talk to a teacher or family member or whatever, you can do it anonymous and you can talk to people like KidsHelpPhone, and it's a safe place.
I love it. I think everybody resonates with what you're saying, Jimmy, and it's such a positive atmosphere that you guys all give off. And we've had some really good questions today. Lydia, I'll kind of let you wrap things here because this is one final, just informative question that I think people want to know. Why pink? Why the pink shirt? And what does the color mean, I guess, to resonate with the brand? And yeah, if you didn't, I guess why today? You know, what does the significance mean? If you know that stuff, if not, don't worry. Quick Google will tell us.
I can actually answer the question why Pink Shirt Day. It was actually coined a number of years ago in Nova Scotia, where these high school students were witnessed bullying. Someone wore a pink shirt for Picture Day, and he was bullied because of it. And this was a grade 9 student, and the grade 12 saw it, and they decided, and they decided to buy pink shirts, and they distributed to a bunch of people in the classroom to unify with the kid that was being bullied, because that's sort of it goes with the whole thing of the bystander. If you see someone being bullied, stand with them. And that's exactly what a Pink Shirt Day was, and how it came to be is exactly that. Is we we stand with people, and that's where it started, was in Nova Scotia, and pink because he got made fun of for wearing a pink shirt.
Wow. Okay. I honestly did not know that story, and I'm glad you told us that. I think that's incredible. It's cool. It's cool to hear the unifying help in the forefront. Lydia, you'll be our last. If you would like to touch on anything, the floor is yours, because you're here with Kids Help Phone. We would love to hear.
Yeah, I guess thank you so much for having us as part of this conversation. And I know I've said it before, but we just want every young person across Canada to know that they can reach out for support, no matter how big or how small they think their challenge is. Call us or text us, or hop on our website and check out the multiple different ways that we can help you. And I think just, let's all be more mindful of how we can create this world that is safe for everyone and where everyone feels valued, whether that is through our actions, our words, our digital footprint, or really anything that we do.
I think that's super well spoken, Lydia. Thank you so much for just relaying those last pieces of information, which is great. Jimmy, I'll let you wrap it. I think I've done my job for the day, but please, if you have any final words, go ahead.
I definitely do. First of all, Mariah, thank you so much for keeping this going. I couldn't have done this without you. Uh, you know, Pink Shirt Day does mean a lot to me. Talking about bullying means a lot to me, and having you coordinate with both the questions and Spencer and Lydia and all this stuff going on, it's a huge thing. And Kids Help Phone, I'm so happy to be working with you guys over the last couple of years. And Spencer, you're an awesome dude, man. I really enjoyed your way of sharing, and I need to thank one other group of people, everybody watching, everybody that had joined this year, because you're making a difference, because you're all seeing this. You're going to be sharing the message with everybody. And for those who have missed it, we will be putting the full video up. It'll be on social media. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on all that. And I'm just so proud to be part of this group and doing this. And of course, we need to thank Harvard Media, because they gave us the avenue in which we did this. And thank you all, and have a great rest of your day. That's kind of all she wrote in my books.
Thanks so much, everybody. Everybody's excellent speakers. You could all be broadcasters. Seriously, you guys do a really good bang up job. And I'll just echo what Jimmy said. I'm so happy I got to meet you guys and learn a little bit about your stories. You guys are incredible, and get me all choked up in the feels, as the kids like to say. Excellent meeting you guys. And thanks, everybody, for being such a great participant.
Thank you.